Oh, Alexandra. Hello. Ross. Hello, Ross. Thank you. Male 30 UK. David. Hey. Dallas 23 male. I got you. Patrick. Hello there. Greetings from Ireland, he says. What a wonderful place. I've heard so many beautiful things. And Irish horses. I love them. I had an opportunity to be near some of them and maybe rode a few, possibly, when I was much younger. You know, I was in an equestrian team, a club, and so we were seeing all kind of horses. You know, people who had lots of money, they would import them from abroad. And anyhow, I know Irish horses are just great. Mark says, hello everyone. Hope you all had a good weekend. Well, you must be where? In UK? Because weekend, still a day left in here in Canada. It's just noon time on Sunday. Well, I don't know which glasses to choose. This one is good for the far distance, you want to look that way, but this other one is good for reading it easy when your messages come through. Yeah, it's probably 8:30 in UK. Ross has a question. I'll get to it, Ross, as a first question. Well, just give me a couple of minutes just to say hello and cheer with you guys. Hello, Roxana. Good to see you. Kind of slow today, maybe. Maybe because I had a good workout last night at the gym. Or maybe it's because of the new regimen I've gone on. You know, I've started this new way of helping my, you know, general well-being. You know, for a long time I just didn't want to have meat anymore, but I had to because, you know, I needed the protein. It was so readily available, and lazy to cook or not know enough recipes. And every food out there is all with meat, but I didn't feel like meat anymore. So I was, you know, contemplating, and then I watched someone who knew about this sort of stuff, and I enjoyed, you know, that information, which was resonating well with me. So I started in the morning. I have a couple of spoons of aloe vera. That's my own thing that I like. I think it's very good. It's got lots of good sugars, not sugar sweet in ways, like sugars, 8 sugars that are important for the body to repair itself and all that. And then I have my vegetable-based protein shake with some vegetable juice and the protein and some water. Ah, I forgot to put water in it today. It was all juice and the protein shake. And then I eat nothing other than tea and stuff, maybe a few blueberries during the day, and some nuts possibly, a little bit, just a little bit, until about, you know, 3 or 4 o'clock, all these little nuts and so on. Then I go to the gym, depending on when, 8, 9 o'clock or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I don't know. And then after gym, I eat my meal, like mixture of beans and maybe a very little bit of few wild rice in it, and maybe half a carrot in a whole pot, a couple of tomatoes, maybe 1/2 or 1 potato just to mix it. That's it, with some green onions and parsley stuff as a garnish vegetable, just fresh vegetable. And then do my stuff during the night and have maybe some more blueberries and nuts. That's it. I've been on that for the past 4 days, 3-4 days, and I don't know if that's why I'm slow or it's because of the good resistance training workout last night. So anyhow, that should give me more clarity to answer your questions. Now, going to the questions, let's say hello to Emmanuel. Yeah, David. But that's the whole idea. I'm trying to reduce the calories to, you know, be able to help everything, you know, blood pressure, cholesterol level, everything should be able to be helped with good regimen of food and exercise and so on. So anyhow, that's where I am. So maybe I kind of am a little bit slow today because of that, but I think it's because of the workout. Now let me have my tea and let's go to questions. So the first question is from Ross. Ross is male, 30, UK. Mehran, I was wondering, and you don't have to answer if it's too personal. Oh, okay. But have you had many long-term relationships, and how did you handle the end? Well, you know, everybody has had many relationships depending on different times of their life. You know, many relationships in high school, depending on where you were raised or what culture you are mixed in, could be, you know, different places. So you have some kind of acquaintances depending where you are living. Could be acquaintances, and some of the places could be deeper. It could be a relationship, a high school level. And then you go to college and you have, you know, lots of different kind of experiences of, you know, relationship with your girlfriend. Some work out, some don't work out. And mostly those ages are the ages that people don't know much about themselves, let alone their partner. So they're bound to be short-lived. Some of them, I remember some of my friends, very few, like I knew this couple, she and her boyfriend were together for 5 years at that age. Like we were all what, 19, 20? Like that was too long of a relationship. They may have started it in high school. I went to university in Portland, so they grew up in that environment. So, you know, in high school probably they started the relationship. But 5 years, of course they broke up. You know, when I was a friend with them, they were talking to me about their situation, that, you know, they're breaking up and stuff like that. And that was normal. It wasn't like they had any problems. It was just like they kind of felt like it was too long for that age. They wanted to explore other experiences, other relationships. So a long relationship, expecting it to be at the outset of your relationship experiences, time period, like in college or high school. It's just silly. It's just, don't expect that. Don't expect any long relationship when you're in your 20s or teenage life or early 20s. It's just not supposed to be, because you have really no understanding of who you are, what your standards are, what your expectations are. Everything is new to you. So the experience of getting to know a girl and going out with her, it's all mystical and so amazing, and you have no chance to know what's going on. All you are, you know, mixed up with is in your hormones and your desires, and you know, the whole idea of being with the girl and so on. So no long-term relationship really would happen in that college time, or should happen. Maybe a year or two max. Then you enter your, you know, kind of work life after university life, or a different age, let's say 25, 24, 25, 26. Then you begin to experience life and see, oh, there's so much out there. And then at every time you think, oh, you're now ready to find you know, your girlfriend. But again, it's maybe too soon. So again, that may not last too long. So every time that it doesn't last too long, that's fine. That's normal. You shouldn't expect it to last that long. And the endings are very exaggerated when we are young. Because all the whole question, we don't look at the whole relationship, okay, it ended, okay, it was an experience, okay, ended. There's so many other things, so many other places to visit and to go. It's like, you know, you go on a fun fair and you take a ride on this interesting ride, and then it ends and you accept that and you go to another ride. But when it comes to relationship, we think, oh, that should be the only ride of our life. At that age is not logical to think that way. So the ending should always be a notion of beginning of a new things. You know, we look at things when they end in relationships as if it's the end of life, or if it's the end of excitement, or if it's the end of possibilities, or if it's the end of something that there could never be another thing in it. Instead of that, we should focus on the end in most things is the notion of beginning of the next thing. So really there's no end as far as relationships are concerned. It's just about ending a duration to start a new possibility. You got to look at it that way. When a relationship ends, you got to think about it, okay, that's a sign of a new things to come, things to be new. It's like fall. Leaves fall, but it's not the end of the tree. We all know that because we've seen it happen often every year. That same tree that lost all the leaves and fruits and all that and was bare, like if it's gonna die, but it wasn't. It was just recuperating, waiting and regenerating, and then it was beginning of the new. So most ends should be looked at as the beginning of a new, like the seasons, like the trees, and like relationships. In that way, you're fine. No, I was no exception. I had my hardships more than you can imagine, and endings was always, you know, I always ended it well, you know, but inside, internally, of course, I was hurt, or it wasn't what I was hoping for, let's say, yeah. But I only remember maybe one or two of them. And when you look back, first of all, you don't care about it now at all. A long time after a relationship ends, you actually find it silly that you actually were concerned at the time, at the level that you were. But when you look back, you actually see, well, I'm so happy that things didn't work out. Because when you find happiness in yourself and in your life, you really don't care about which relationship works or doesn't work. All you care about is that you're living a positive life, you're growing, you're researching, you're learning, you're helping, you're producing. The rest of it, which relationship worked, which it didn't, it only matters at the time when you are only focused on that the things didn't go the way you had planned it. Your desires are kind of been interrupted to enjoy the pleasure or the plans that you had, and you thought your plans should happen. No, why? If it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. Another plan. But now when you look at it, you say, oh, it was all perfectly designed. It should have happened the way it happened. And why not? Because you're happy. And you will be happy. Always. A little later after the relationship breakup, you'll always be happy. You may not see it at that moment. That's natural. That's normal. But you will. Just that's the way of the river. No river flow stops. The flow continues, and life continues, and your flow continues. Your desires for bigger and better things will continue, and that itself is the energy that recovers, replenishes, and builds new. So it's an automatic reflex that we will be okay, and we will be great. We will be happy and stronger and learn something from it, and then know that that is actually not what we wanted. Why would we want something that doesn't work out? You will come to that conclusion eventually. All right. Let's go and see. Ross says, I had some spiced tea, by the way, from India. Very nice. Maybe it's a new one you could try. Yeah, sure. What kind of tea is it? India has great teas. Assam, I think. Does it come from India? I think it does. Or no. Or there is a province, Assam, maybe. That's where the name maybe comes from. I have to research on that. I had a book about tea, and it was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. But I forgot all these things about it. Roxana says, I'm okay. I keep listening to your advices and try not to overthink about things. Oh yeah, that's one of the worst things we can do. We try to materialize some hopes or desires or conclusions that we conjure up in our mind that hasn't even happened, or we're wondering about it if it will happen the way we want it in the future, and we think about it so much as if we want to create it right now, which is supposed to happen in the future, whatever it is. So let it go and just live your life. Do your things. Things will fall into place by themselves. You just do your things, your daily things. You know, brick by brick. Keep doing your things. The building, construction will eventually take shape and looks like, you build a monument, or you build a tower or house or whatever. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. Find enjoyments, find happy things, find good things, productive, positive people, positive energy. Surround yourself with that. Find meaning for your life, and then things fall into place. Mark says, Why is it human nature to want what we can't have? You must have watched that video of mine or one of the live talks that we're just talking about the same thing, that we want things that we can't have. Because, as whatever we have discussed in that other... Can you guys hear me okay? Is the microphone too far? Maybe I'll put it here. Does it work? All right. We've said many things about it in these other videos, but I think the main reason that you want what you cannot have, you want what you don't have, is because you're conditioned to want to be more. So like you're never enough. You gotta have something else to be enough. In the eyes of the people, in the eyes of the society, in your own eyes, which is conditioned to see things that way as the way the society sees it. So you're conditioned to also be part of the society, which society itself is the way it is because of you. You think you're conditioned by the society, but you are the one who actually made the society. So I am the society. You are the society. Society is the way it is because of you. And now you are being conditioned by it, thinking that it is conditioning you, but you were the one who built and made that society to be the way it is. So, having said that, you're conditioned by that whole way of thinking that you're not enough. You gotta be more. To be more, you gotta have things that you don't have. That's the only way you can be more. Otherwise, you have stuff. But you always think it's not enough. So you got to have more things. So naturally, you're always comparing yourself. That I am better than what I am. I'm better than everybody else. I'm supposed to be more. And to be more, I got to be able to get things. And things are valuable if I don't have them. If I have them, they may not seem so valuable because I'm one of those people, not me, usually, generally, who may think that I don't want to belong to a club that takes me as a member. Meaning, I don't have enough confidence about myself and my worth and value. So if a club accepts me as a member, and because I don't think much of myself, then I think the club probably is not much itself. So I don't want to belong to a club who accepts me as a member. That means the club is not a good club because I am not that hot, so to speak. So you want things that you can't have. You want to belong to a club that doesn't want to accept you. Then you want it. You want a girl that you think you can't have. She becomes more of a interest to you, than more of a value to you, because that's how you think you become valuable, by having things that are better than you, and what you can't have seems to you indicating that it's better than you because you can't have it. And because it's better than you, you're just proven to yourself, because you can't have it, then you must have it. You want to have it. To be better, to be more. Again, we go back to that conditioning of wanting to be more. Always. From this to this. I gotta be more. Every day. That's one of the curses of life. That stops that whole balance and tranquility flow of life. We're always dissatisfied or think we should have more in order to be counted more. To whose eyes? To whose eyes? A bunch of people we don't even know? Because that's how we've been conditioned. That's how your level in the society goes up. By having more money, or having this, that, so forth. To consider yourself have accomplished to be more. Instead of focusing on things that you can learn and you can contribute, there's so much things that you can add to yourself without it being tangible, without it being a possession of material things. Because everything, even that what you want to reach, stemmed from your thinking. Everything is happening intangibly before it becomes a motivation for you and go get a tangible things. So improve yourself inwardly, internally, understand things there, and you will be free in most part from all these concerns that have been put together by men, by human beings, because of their shortcomings and inferiorities and fears and complexes and so on and so forth. You don't have to be part of that. Anyhow, a balance would be the best. So the rest of the story is, it says, I watch my boys argue over that toy, what toy the other brother plays with. We just discussed the stem of it, the roots of it. Even though it's been gathering dust on the self for the last 12 months. Yes, of course. Because you should have more than the other person. That's how we are conditioned to think. It's the same with us adults. We want the ex back, even though deep down they're not right for us. Yes. That's again this whole idea of that I'm better than the others. I'm being compared. If she has chosen somebody else, that's an indication of me not being as good as the other person, or that other person being better than me. All because some woman chose somebody else, suddenly that affects your value? We've discussed that before. It's like saying you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu and you choose an order, a kebab. Now suddenly spaghetti from the other side of the menu says, hey, I feel now bad because you chose kebab. Your choice means I'm not good enough. What does that have to do anything? Same thing with you. Some girl chooses somebody else. Suddenly you think it has devaluated you because of her choice. What about if she doesn't know how to choose? What about her taste? What about her understanding of the value? It's like somebody goes to a jewelry store and is shown a very brilliant cut diamond. Doesn't appreciate it. Does that devaluate the diamond? Does that make the diamond not to be diamond anymore? Its characteristic changes because this guy or this girl didn't like it or didn't understand it, didn't appreciate it. Now, if that same person goes and buys a cubic zirconian or crystal or glass made jewelry, does that suddenly make that choice, the glass, crystal, or the cubic zirconian, more valuable than the diamond itself? Well, that's exact same principle. Someone's choice does not devaluate another thing that was not chosen. It just means that's the level of understanding of that person. Expectation, level of understanding. That's all. It does not devaluate you. And by being chosen, it doesn't evaluate you. You're still the same person. Just good as you are or not. And the same, that person who does the choosing, the same. Just because she attained a bracelet of so kind, that doesn't make her more valuable. Maybe looks sexier to some people or gives a certain kind of image. But in real value, if you understand what the value of a human being is, that has no effect on her value. She's still the same good person or the same bad person, asshole. These are all perception of ours, not real factual things. Now, Marx says, it's the same with ego. I find life is easier if you can suppress your ego. Sometimes I want to work on through meditation. Remember, you don't have to suppress your ego. You have to understand what it is. When you understand where the ego stems from, which we have discussed in many videos, I can't go into it now, it's going to be another whole can of worm open. When you watch the videos about ego, what ego is and stuff like that, and through other videos that we have indirectly discussed it and brought the ego into the picture, ego wants to be fluffed through fulfillment of the desire. So commands you to do stuff for it to be fluffed, which means you end up becoming the ego. You're living the ego's life, not your life. Which is the time you should create an understanding of what desire is, how desire is born, what is the role of ego, and what is the role of thought and consciousness in all this. And then you command the ego that, hey, you are part of me. I created you. You're created in me. I am the master, not you. So fuck off. I choose what is good for me and what is not. What gives me value, what is not. Not you to want me to do all kind of nonsense and crazy things just to feel good by the virtue of ego, because of ego, but really doesn't in actuality do anything for me in life. It just makes me feel like I've created an illusion of grandeur by having complied to the request of the ego, to fluff my ego. But no change comes to me. Only the imaginary silhouette avatar of ego that I have become looks bigger and different. But in relation to the world and my contribution to it and my role in it, nothing has changed. I'm still the same shit. Haven't gotten any bigger just because I fluffed my ego. So you got to be aware of that. And then command the ego, says, hey, shut up. Desire and ego both should be following the master. And the master is you, the center of you, who you are, your whole understanding of your psyche and the relationship that they each have in the mix. Now, let's see what Ross says. Ross says, I met a great girl and ended things under a period of high stress when I was moving away. Since having time to reflect, I realized that a great girl she was. Finding others with such great quality is so hard to come by. Yeah, but you didn't know this one will come by, but it did, right? So it was there, it was available. If before she came by and you come up with this conclusion, if somebody would have asked you, do you think great girls exist? You would say, yeah, but maybe not so easy for me to find. But you found it, yeah? Same thing. And just because something hasn't happened, it doesn't mean it will never happen, yeah? So you got to be alert, keep your eyes open. The same thing as just because you haven't, I don't know, had a food poisoning doesn't mean it'll never happen. Just means just because it hasn't happened, because you have been careful. If you have been crossing the street and you haven't been hit by a car, it's not because anyway you cross the street you won't be hit by the car. It's just because you've been alert, careful, watching both ways and proceeding. So same thing in life. Just because something hasn't happened or has happened, it doesn't mean it will never happen or will always happen. It's all about your alertness, your taking up the opportunities and seeing how things are, and directing yourself to be on the right place and the right activities and paths. And the opportunities, when it presents itself, you would see it because of the experiences you've had in the past. So you'll have a better chance in the future to find that great girl, because you know what great girl is now, supposedly, as you say. Emmanuel says, I have noticed that girls for the most part tend to be more ambitious than us boys. Why do you think that is? Because finally they found out that they can't count on guys all the time. And if they do, they will be enslaved. They will be dependent of some asshole's behavior and become a narcissist to want to control them with money, with power, with all stuff that they can't provide for themselves. So they have become smart enough, as they should have, and they go for positions, research, studies, bettering themselves, getting a good job, becoming entrepreneurs, making money, so they can be on equal terms with their partner. And they can find someone based on, stay with them or not, based on the mutual behavior and mutual way of they treat each other, not based on need that they have to put up or shut up. That goes both ways, but in most cases been the way that has been for most women around the world. And I'm glad that every woman now understands the importance of educating themselves, training themselves, making sure they have good careers, good jobs, and become independent so they can have a quality of life that they deserve and each human being deserves. So that's good. Jesse Schmidt. Hello, Jesse. Guten Tag. I think you are in Netherlands, if I remember. She says, yes, this time I can join the live. Okay, good. Glad for you to be here. Maria Arva says, hi, Maria. Oh, it says, hi, Maria, Colombia 22 female. Hello, Maria. How can I meet new people if I'm a nurse student and barely have time? Well, are you not with it? You are a nurse. There's so many doctors around you. So many people in the hospital around you. I know it's not a good idea to maybe befriend a co-worker or colleague in the place of work, in the workplace. But I'm sure there are conventions that you go to, there are contacts that you will come to know through these conventions, the training courses. Simply by you are in a place for a day or two for those conferences or training courses, you meet people easily and then continue being in touch for, you know, if you find it suitable. Otherwise, you can always, you know, enjoy little things like, I don't know, a bowling tournament, a friendly bowling tournament, or maybe if there is a recreation center like it is in here, you can join some badminton teams or basketball or volleyball or whatever it is that is a group activity, or group tennis classes is perfect to meet people. Obviously you have something in common. They're interested in athletic kind of activities, or, you know, or maybe groups, meetup groups. You know, there are meetup groups all around the world now. Just go on meetup and find a category that you like, and you will meet people when you join the group for that daily activity, whether it's walking or reading books or discussions and so on. I have a meetup group here for Mind That Seeks Truth, a meetup group here. And sometimes I put up discussions about topics of like what is consciousness, what is thoughts, and so on and so forth. And sometimes people show up, sometimes nobody shows up, and depends on what. But there are groups of this kind in the meetups all around the world that you go on, you know, your internet and find them, and you meet people. And she adds, and how can I react if my ex is always trying to get my attention? I hate it. We work together. Oh. And do you have a video on improving self-love? Thank you. Yes, I think I do. If you go on the channel and search for, I don't know, love yourself or love, something like this, it might, because I know I do have some kind of discussion on that. And about your ex, simply sit down with him in the cafeteria for 10 minutes and tell him, listen, we are both working in the same place, and we should make it a positive experience. We're going to focus on our works. We have responsibilities here to take care of people. This is what we love to do. And we had a relationship, and no longer we have. So let's respect that, and don't try to get my attention. I don't want to make it feel awkward for myself or for you. I want to respect you, and I want you to respect me as two people who experienced a relationship, and now we go on. For whatever reason, we didn't hit it off, or somehow, you know, things are the way they are. So let's just make it comfortable. Don't try to get my attention so much. I don't want to get back to this relationship, and I want you to understand it's not because I dislike you or hate you. It's because I'm growing and you're growing. I've changed and I have other expectations, and it doesn't mean somebody else is better than you. It's just that I just want to see what life is and focus on my work and see if I meet other people that would, you know, resonate with me in a different way that it did before. So let's leave it at that, if you will, and let's make it comfortable. Something like that. Hopefully that will be helpful. Mike Bressler. Guys, give me just a single moment. Well, I was going to find that thing for you, but I think it's going to take a while because okay, I'm sure if you go on my channel and search in love yourself or something like that, something should come up, Maria. Or if you email me, make a comment on one of my videos and it'll come to me, I will then search it for you and send you the link, because I'm not sure if it's going to be easy to find. You can try it. If you didn't find it, email me and then I will find the link and send you something that is pertaining that topic. Mike, 61 years, male, USA. Hello, Mike. Mike says, broke up with my girlfriend because she felt that our relationship beliefs were an issue. Oh, our religious beliefs were an issue. How silly. I mean, the topic is silly, not that, oh, it was she, not you. Okay, well, yeah, okay. I respect her core belief, but was saddened by her feelings. What advice do you have when that comes up or becomes an issue? Nothing, just walk away. If someone is shallow enough to think that her religion comes before her own consciousness and her own first-hand experience and exchange and interaction with life, and her ability to reason things and see right from wrong, and she's depending on instructions that was given by somehow, somewhere, deity or not, rather than being specific to that person's personal understanding, then why would you want to be with that person? Because that person is really already sold out on the whole idea of expansion of knowledge, advancement and improvement and development and growth. It's already been decided, her mentality, 1,000 years ago. So, as we know, life is in movement. Every atom, molecule, everything in every second is changing, is in movement. The whole life is in existence because of movement. Things that don't move don't exist. And you know what I mean? I'm not talking about you not moving and sleeping. Even though so inside you everything is moving. So life, the whole universe, is not an absolute, is not a constant state. It's a movement. So if someone wants to say that I want to have no movement because what was taught to me from certain book or scripture or whatever, tradition or whatever, that designs and guides my behavior towards everything else, that should tell you enough to say, okay, your relationship is with the mind of your partner. Your relationship is not with the body of your partner. Yes, the body brings attraction, sexual attraction and desire, or pleasantry, that you're attracted, like a cake you see in a bakery. The design and the flow and the colors and the whole choreography and everything else about it is attraction, that you want to taste or to want to buy that cake. But the real cake is the ingredient inside, over the shell that you can see. That is what determines if you're going to like the cake and you can eat it and come back and buy another one or not. The same thing, your relationship with other human beings is with their mind, their thoughts, their consciousness, what makes them tick. It's not with the avatar. The avatar is an instrument of invitation to create interest. It's an invitation. The avatar keeps that invitation open so the two will interact long enough to understand if the ingredients in the avatar, in the cake, the mentality, consciousness, thoughts, what makes them tick, is compatible or not. Once they find that out, no matter how pretty they were, often they break up, right? So why? If it's only the physical attributes that keeps a relationship going, then they shouldn't have broken up after getting to know each other for a while. But you can see most relationships or relationships don't break up right at the outset. At the outset is pretty good, but it breaks up when they actually live together or get to know each other for a long time. What does that mean? That means what causes the breakup is the interaction, and the interaction is happening between their minds, their thoughts. So that means your relationship is with the other parts of our life as we know it. The two parts, mind and the body. Hence you understand, if someone's mind is not going to be compatible with you, or not even want to try to be compatible with you, what's there to continue? With the avatar? Well, the avatar was already this way as it looks. But if that was the only thing that was needed for a relationship to go good, then we wouldn't be here talking about this. But obviously something went wrong while the two avatars were sexually interested or pleasing to each other. So your relationship really is not with the physical appearance of each other, is with the mentality. And the mentality, if it's telling you right point blank that my religious belief is my mentality, that means it's set, is immovable. And what's not movable and what's not moving is pretty much dead. Therefore, don't get caught in that kind of a vortex of somebody pulling the religious cart and trying to claim superiority or differences that dictates her life experiences and way of interacting and communicating with life and negotiating with life, which would be obviously totally different or somewhat different than people who have a different kind of belief or religion instilled into them. Their conditioning are different. So don't buy into that and take that opportunity, pack up and go and find another suitable, open-minded. It's good to have a religion. There's nothing wrong with it. But that religion is supposed to help you to communicate better, tolerate and understand and be compatible better with the environment, with the nature, which people are part of the nature, not to create segregation and division and become more distant because of the differences. The religions are supposed to help you to find commonality between each other, because all religions, I think they all supposedly mean good and want to excel the human experience, life experience, and human qualities and humane qualities. That's what I think most religions are trying to do. So if that's the case, then they all have so many things in common, which is the good things that they should focus on. Not that, oh, my religion in this part is different than yours, so that means bye-bye. Okay then, bye-bye. That is not the best use of a religion belief. All right, so let's move on to study with me. I think that might be Anna, yeah? Study with me, his name is Anna, I remember, I think. Hi Mehran, she says, after a long time I actually enjoy your live session. You mean after a long time you enjoyed it, or you always enjoyed it? You mean you didn't enjoy it before? And she says, you are so right. Ha, after a moment of time, you'll become more stronger than ever. I'm happy. Good. Study with me continues. Mehran, suggest me some interesting books. I'm 22 years old. Yes, I suggest you a very good book, and everybody but you knows what that book I'm going to suggest. Go on this site. It's called mindthatseekstruth.com. mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on the books. You will see a bunch of books there. 3 of them already there. One of them is called Me, My Psyche and I. Me, My Psyche and I. Click on the book. Actually, there's a little video beside that. You can watch the video. It's 2 minutes. Tells you what the book is all about. Then you can click on the book. You will be able to see the table of contents of the book. I think there's about 60 chapters or so. And you will find out what the topics are discussed in that book. Then you can click further, page will open and allows you to read a sample chapter of the book. See how it grabs you. I highly recommend that book, more than any other book that I know of, for not just obvious reasons, because I believe that's a good book. And you may know the writer too, so, and the price is right. If it's in print, it's about $80 because it's heavy, 360 pages, and it got to be shipped all around the world. But the author has done a fantastic job of turning it into ebooks, making it affordable for everybody. So the same $80 book can be acquired in the form of ebook for $5.99. I think that's a real genius of the author. I don't know who that is, but good for him. He's a real humanitarian, hoping to make this affordable for everybody to own one, rather than just thinking about becoming rich from selling of it, because $5.99 is not going to make the author rich, I assure you that. So go on, get that thing, and enjoy reading it anytime you have a chance and you feel like it. And it's not a story, you don't have to go chapter by chapter. Any chapter you choose, you pick it and you read it. Short chapters and lovely stuff in it. All right. Study with me says, nice shirt by the way. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's one of my favorite shirts. DB. It couldn't be shorter than that, could it? It's DB, and it's got no picture, so I'm gonna guess. Oh, there it is. There's a help here. It says, hey Mehran, Daniel 36 from Germany. Okay, Daniel, I'm still not sure if it's okay, from Germany. I know that you always advise to get over an ex and move on. Are there actually any situations where you would suggest to fight to get an ex back? No? No. Look. You go to a bakery, you order a cake. You look at it, you like it, it's in the show window, and you look everywhere, you find that one, you say, okay, I want that. You order a piece of cake, and tea possibly. If it's mine, I'll get a tea with it too. And you taste it. Halfway through the cake, you think, I can't take it anymore. I don't like it. For whatever reason. It's got something in it. It looked good, tasted a little bit good at the beginning, but then eventually there's an aftertaste, there's some reason, whatever, that, you know, it just, you can't take it, you can't negotiate with it anymore. So, what are you going to do? Next time you're going to come back to the same store and you're going to try to get that same cake, just in case you will like the shit that you didn't like last time. Because last time you chose that cake, you tried it, and you tried it further. Halfway through, you had tried your best, you couldn't take it anymore. But now you think, because you've forgotten how the experience was, you now think you should go back and try the same cake that you were adamant and convinced it's not for you. Why? Why do you doubt yourselves? If you were in a relationship and it didn't work out, obviously you guys tried, you didn't just let it go the first sign of trouble. And eventually you came to the conclusion it doesn't work out. Either both of you together or one of you. However it was, I don't care. One side or both sides. You severed it or he or she severed it. I don't know. I didn't get if you're a man or a woman. It just says Danielle, and I'm not sure if that could be a name for both, man or woman. I'm sorry. You gotta give me the info. Throw me the bone. Give me the info. So you were in a relationship, somehow it didn't work out after you guys tried. Now what makes you think that you gotta get the ex back? Why? Why? It's proven to you. You invested time. You interacted. You tried. Both of you. Or one of you. And it didn't work. Why is it that you still want something that doesn't fit, doesn't work, cannot work? You have a car, You blow a tire. You get a punctured tire. You go to the next store. You can't find the right size. You try to fit another tire into it. Why you want to jam it in? Why you want to force it? It's not the right size. It's not going to fit. It's not going to work. It's not going to fit the rim. It's not going to fit the axle. Even if it does, it's not the right thickness, not height, right size of the tire. It may wobble. Whatever reason it is, you know it's not the right fit. Why do you keep wanting it back? Why do you want to put that to work, that tire? Or try that cake again? Or get back the X? Why? What's wrong with you guys? If it doesn't work, it's not like you're bloody in a home pond of 2 feet by 2 feet and there's one fish in it and you want to make a barbecue for a whole family. It's a little fish. It's an ocean out in life. There's so many fish out there, so many possibilities out there. It's not that you're limited in choices. I gotta have the X back. Why? Because you are challenged by your own psyche to want to prove to yourself that you're good enough. And your whole idea of being good enough is if one idiot or one person who happened not to want to be with you would change his or her mind and wants to be with you. And that's your source and indication of you're worthy, you're good enough. Meaning you think that person's idea of what is good or bad is how the things are judged. That thinking by itself is lame. So don't give such an echelon to someone to actually be hanging on their choices of you in order to feel you are good enough in yourself. That's a conditioning you've received ever since childhood, that you're not good enough. We all have, from everywhere. From our parents compared us, teachers compared us with the other students, workplace compared us, all the bonus categories and all the special stars and special elevations and categories that we were put in and out constantly depending on the performance and all that, constantly enforcing in our mind that we are not enough, we're not good enough. And now you're sensitized or triggered by the first person who doesn't choose you or doesn't want you anymore for whatever reason. You think that choice means anything to your value, and you run around to get that X back. And who's that X? What that X has done for the world that his or her opinion is so important? What has she done? What has he done? They still have to get up in the morning and do what everybody else does. Clean up, shit, piss, have their tea or coffee, dress up, and go and deal with their life. Now, what made them so suddenly the almighty and all know-it-all to give you an opinion to make you feel good or bad about yourself? Don't make them a symbol of anything, because they're not. See it as it is. They're just another human being. You guys didn't hit it off. Okay, they go and you go. And there are other opportunities and possibilities out there. Not the only fish in the little pond. It's an ocean out there. So many possibilities and opportunities. Go open your eyes and go live your life. Stop fighting for the X. It has to be mutual. If it's not mutual, fighting for what? For your ego. Fluffing your ego through pursuing a desire. If you know how desire is born, and we've talked about this in immense number of videos, If you learn those videos, watch them, it will tell you exactly how desire is born, what is his relationship with you, wanting to expand, what is the role of the ego. All of that is in there. Go find it. You'll be freed by the knowledge. Now, Daniel, I hope that was something that you can ponder on and free yourself from such questions. Punit Pal says, hello sir, I agree with your statement. It doesn't devalue dumpy. Dumpy. Don't call yourself that. But how to feel happy my oneself. Do we need people to validate us? No. It's nice when they validate, but it's not nice when they don't. But you always got to figure out who is validating me. If it's Einstein validating my mathematical capabilities, I welcome that. But if it's some another human being who is the same as me, as everybody is the same as everybody else, we all have the same needs and same concerns and same illusions and same fears and same desires and so on and so forth, and they end up becoming the judge of my valuation or who I am or another, that's just silly. Never allow that. Just do your best in life. Be positive. Help things grow and develop. Help people if you can. Be positive for the affecting the community and society you live in and the people who come to interact with you. And shun away from the negative people and keep yourself balanced and tranquil and happy and productive for the good of the people and good of the humanity. What else is there to be judged? That's it. KKR says, your thoughts on people who self-harm when in anger are stupid. If you cannot respect yourself and protect yourself and cherish and appreciate the gift of life that you have come to have, through which millions and billions of others have been sacrificed for you to be born. You know, remember when your mom and dad went for procreation? Maybe, I don't know how many billion other sperms were produced, and out of all that they were sacrificed, only you, only one, and that one is you, was able to win the race and be chosen to be given this gift of life. And then so many people have sacrificed their time and energy, your parents, teachers, so on and so forth, and you made so much effort in life to make yourself to become who you've become. All of that energy and what has gone to make you to be who you are and be here in this life and experience life in the form that we are experiencing it, suddenly becomes worthless to the point you're going to harm yourself. Well, if you can't appreciate this gift, which is the most important treasure of ever you can have in this life than anything else, if you can't take care of that and appreciate that, respect that, you can't respect anything else. Number one is you take care of yourself. Respect yourself. Don't do anything harm. Don't put anything harmful into your body. Don't subject yourself to things that you shouldn't subject yourself to. Don't harm yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Anger or not, who you're angry about. You want to hurt yourself because you're angry. How dumb can that be? And I don't believe you can be in that frame of thoughts, because obviously you're asking the question, which means you're not dumb, you're not stupid, you're pretty smart, that you pay attention to these things. So understand it carefully and understand what is it that you're hurting. You're hurting the most valuable treasure of all times that you can ever receive, and that's your health, your life, your machine, that is the way you interact negotiate this short journey of life that you've been blessed with. KK says, basically, I want to ask about my your boyfriend. He has a problem with his parents and they fight a lot with him. At first he remains quiet, but then afterwards he locks himself up and kind of scratches himself. Well, you got to show him what I just said and help him to understand that that's not going to solve anything. It just shows a temper tantrum and the fact that his ego has taken over him. He has to understand what ego is, and that the ego is not his master, that he is the ego's master. He is the desire's master. What should or should not be is what his understanding decides, and not his ego or desires. His conditioning makes it so important for him to get what he wants, or to be recognized or respected by his parents, thinking that that respect is more important than anything else. He has given too much credit to the opinion of the parents or others. When he understands that his credit and evaluation comes from within and not from without, not from outside, parents or teachers or whoever, then he will be free from that feeling of neglect or lack of worth because of the reaction or interaction or the opinion of the parents, or things having not gone the way he would have, or he hasn't been recognized or respected by them. He will understand that their opinion and respect about him is nothing of importance. What is important is righteousness and being side of the truth. He needs to seek the advice of truth and rely on truth rather than the opinion of other people. What the facts are, he can see it. What the truth is, he can see it. And let that be his judge, which means his own consciousness will be the judge of his situation, and not whatever else, to cause him to want that so much that he will go on temper tantrum and feel so sad and want to, I don't know, hit himself because it didn't turn out the way he wanted it to turn out. If he understands that that is a behavior of his ego and his desire and his lack of understanding of what is really important, what is not important, what his psyche is all about, and then if he understands all that, he'll be fine. He will change his reaction towards such interactions. Hey, that rhymed. His reaction towards such interactions. So we have Reese says, hello again, Mehran, 22 UK. How are you doing? Great. I'm in here in the arena trying to fight my way out, reason my way out from the questions. And Jessie says, female, 22, Netherlands. Yes. And she says, dear Mehran, a good friend for yours suddenly became romantic. Really? Who is my good friend that became romantic? I'm just kidding. You're probably talking about a situation here. A good friend for yours suddenly became a romantic, but cause of past relationship, I overanalyzed things, and I'm scared that him wanting to go a little fast is a red flag and will turn out into a bad relationship. Fast or not, a relationship goes bad or not because of the speed, because of compatibility. A car that is built with an engine that goes fast and takes the hull and the engine and resonations and all the gadgets and design and everything else, it can take it. So it goes fast and finishes the race and nothing happens to it. But then there's another car who's not designed to go 200 kilometers per hour, and it does, and it starts falling apart and doesn't make it a good distance run. So it's not about how fast they go, it's about if they're equipped and designed to go fast. So if you guys are really hitting it off and everything looks good, well, maybe it'll be okay to go fast. But I do understand your concern, and it's a valid concern. Sometimes, especially in the case of guys, when things haven't really brewed properly, and consciousnesses have not interacted enough, and interests have not genuinely been created on the basis of content of the consciousness and compatibility and the harmony and so on, then things go fast and they get into the intimacy and sex, and then before it's time, before they actually understand each other, and if they really like each other, the interest with the avatar, interest with the physical appearance, and the sexual interest will encourage them to go to bed. And that already afterwards they see, okay, the guy may say, okay, you know, there's no more reason for me to try to get to know her, if that was where he was coming from. But in the other cases, it looks perfectly fine, and they already have the chemistry and understanding and compatibility on the consciousness level, and even though they go a little fast, and they still continue being together and growing and learning more about each other. So it's really not about how fast it goes, it's about the quality of the introduction to each other and knowledge about each other, and the interaction that is going to set out the quality of the relationship yet to come. In most cases, yeah, going too fast and getting to bed quickly could kind of, and in some cases is actually good news to go fast and see if there's no more spark, because already sex has happened, making sure it's safe sex, of course. And then you will know, okay, you don't have to waste time. A friend doesn't have to waste time anymore, because it already went fast. They went to bed and they now no longer feel the same way. So why prolong the already failing relationship possibility? Obviously it was going to fail anyway, because there was not much in it. So it has its good or bad points. It's not always fast, it's not always bad. Sometimes people get together and know each other, they really like each other, and it's very quick, and still it's, you know, the whole thing is going well, and sometimes not. So again, it's not a trick to make it long lasting and create excitement. Eventually they're going to go to bed, and then what? Still comes down to if they understand each other, like how each other are put together, like each other's psyche and consciousness, and so on and so forth. It's not about when they go to bed. Of course, it's not that I'm saying just see each other and go to bed right away. No, that's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay, I hope that's something for you to ponder, and let me now go to the next. VV, I think that means California. 30 California, let's see. Hi Mehran, 30 male, there you go. 30 male California. Here, why we lose motivation and ambition after, guys, could you please hit on the likes? Last time there were about 20 of us here, and when the live talk was was uploaded, I saw only 6 likes, meaning either you guys didn't like it, which I highly doubt it, or you guys forgot. So click on the like right away, please. Takes a moment. That helps us out. I know you all want us to have that 1 million subscribers. It was just yesterday I got an email from someone with kind words about the channel and extraordinary words about how wonderful that new video of why you feel like a loser when a girl doesn't want you. And in that we really hit some very interesting discussion that he appreciated, and I hope everybody would see that. Of course I used one kind of relationship, you know, namely why you feel like a loser when the girl doesn't want you, but the concept is about you know, any kind of a relationship, so you guys can turn it around and make it suit your type of relationship. So so we receive all these wonderful comments, but you know, we still have a long way to go to have 100,000 subscribers, let alone 1 million. So do your part, guys. Share the videos on your social media and keep liking and making comments on the videos they like. You know, if you every video that you watch on this channel, if you make a comment, which I know most of you do, but just because you understood it and you liked it or whatever, still leave a comment. The comments does help the algorithm to recognize us more. So, and in some comments there is a question in there or something, I will respond, because I always have responded to almost every comment that I've received during the past 6 years. But because we want to just make a comment, I may just you know, respond shortly or click on like, so it will recognize, but not necessarily respond in length unless it's something that you want me to respond in length. Then of course that's different. So Vivi says, why we lose motivation and ambition after breakup or heartbreak, how to overcome that quicker. Oh, I see. You know, guys, I know you guys are kind to me, but be a little bit more kind. Most of these questions are really involved, and it's a 2-hour, 3-hour discussion. Questions, answers to these questions, and they're all responded in videos. The videos of these things exist in elaboration, a half an hour talk, 20 minutes, 12 minutes, and so on and so forth. So I will shortly discuss these things here, but go on and find research, search the videos pertaining to your question, because I have longer versions of answers there. Because your answer is not in one video, it's a combination of different reasons why we lose motivation. The motivation that you lose actually is partly depression, and that comes from not having been able to satisfy your desire, which in turn the ego has failed to fluff itself through fulfillment of the desire, and the ego hasn't fluffed itself, so the ego feels not happy, not satisfied, and wants to force you to think that ego is you, ego is more important than you, and if ego is not satisfied, there's nothing that you are good for, and therefore takes your motivation down. If you understand that your feelings are not due to the actual fact or disaster in life, in your life, it's simply about a disappointment in hoping to enjoy continuously of a certain pleasure that was a result of achieving a certain desire. Pleasure comes from fulfilling a desire, And after that desire is fulfilled and the pleasure is created, the thought comes into the picture and says, oh, I like that pleasure. I want more of that. And because I want more of that, I want you, thought, create more of that pleasure, keeping it alive, keeping it going by thinking about it. And while you're thinking about it to comply with the order of pleasure, which is your whole life based on, you will continue thinking about it, and then you realize you don't have it, so you will miss it and constantly be unfocused about it and feel imbalanced and lose motivation to do anything else, because you always think there's something wrong with you. There's something missing in your life because you've been focused on keeping that pleasure going through your memories, which when you think about the ex, you think about the pleasurable parts of the relationship, and quickly the thought thinks, oh, pleasure, I want it. I want you to continue this pleasure that I just felt by you remembering part of that relationship. Same thing happens as it happens when a newly desire is fulfilled and pleasure is created, and the mind, a thought comes into the picture and wants you to continue the pleasure through thinking. When you think about your ex and the memory of the ex comes, the good parts come, the pleasurable parts come. With those pleasurable parts of the memory, that files that come up, and you feel pleasure again, thought comes in and says, hey, I like that, keep it up. So keeping it up while the actuality tells you it's not happening, you keep depressed and depressed and depressed, and depression dissolves motivation. I think that rests my case. So, so if you understand that relationship, then you will know, hey, no, I'm not going to be wanting to continue that pleasure. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to let it continue. I don't care what you want, ego, desire, pleasure, whatever it is. I'm not going to have it. I'm going to focus on my day, focus on my things, and focus on the benefits of receiving the results, focus on the benefits that I would receive from my activities, my doing my job, my ambitions, the benefits that I will receive from fulfilling my ambitions, my projects, and advancing myself in the jobs or career or whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I focus on those benefits, and that will wash away my desire to continuously think about the pleasure and keeping it and keeping depressed and not being motivated. So I create my motivation by being in the now, by being in the present, and focusing on the benefits that I will gain from pursuing my plans by being in the present and continuing my efforts to fulfill and attain and complete my accomplishments, my projects, my plans. Better my life that way. Focus on that, then you'll be handling that much better. The Raf Mark says, why do some girls give up on a genius, good, caring man and happiness to downgrade to a bad character for short-term fun? Some girls follow their emotions and it can be destructive to their lives. You know, that's because you think the girls who do this are geniuses. You think more of them than they actually are. Because you think the girls are know-it-all, so wiser than you, and so what decision they make, it's going to be a representation of your worth and value, as if you think they are so wise that is unbecoming of them to make such horrendous, disastrous choices and mistakes. Why? They're human beings. Why, they're 20-year-old, 25-year-old. It just so happens that they're a woman and they're desirable to you, but that doesn't mean they're so smart and worldly, can think it through, can know what they're doing, or the decisions you're representing anything other than their own instincts and desires, and want to experience life and enjoy for bullshit, just like most other people do in most cases. So bring them from the high horse that you put them on, then you realize that there's no question why. Why? Because they're human beings, just like you. You fuck up, you make mistakes, they do too. But to them, it's not a mistake. They're enjoying themselves. And to you, you should not care, because they're adult, they make their own decisions. Go on, find what's suitable to you, and stop worrying about why other people make the decisions that they make. You know? Simple. Free yourself from that. You don't have to worry about them, because they're adults. They make their own decisions. They're master of their own life. And you're not their daddy. And if they make those choices, because they're not wise of the world either. Nobody is. We all make mistakes, or we all make judgments or decisions that to us is not a mistake at the time that we make it. But in hindsight, later on, we may actually ourselves turn and say, oh, that was a mistake. But you can't bring that, because, let's say I have certain experiences and I see somebody's doing something that is going to lead into a mistake. I can't go around trying to make them understand why that's a mistake. They will not until they actually look back at it later and see it themselves. And you may have a certain experience and see that what they're doing is a wrong decision, but to you it is. To your standards it is. To them, whether it is or not, or whether they understand it is or not, is another thing. It depends on where they are in life. So, the main point is stop thinking about them, that they're so smart, that such mistakes is unbecoming of them. No, they're human beings like everybody else. So chill on that. Don't be surprised. You know, they have this, they can say the same thing. Why the guys go and let go such a good girl and go and hang around with such a girl that is a slutty or whatever, because the guy is in the mode of being with a, I don't know, slutty girl maybe, I don't know, or being with some girl that interacts with him in a certain way that he likes at that age or whatever it is. Just those questions are really not something to focus on it too much. Mark. Kalani says, there is the man, Mehran. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Love the live talks. Aloha, Kalani, and mahalo. And Kalani says, I have a question, my brother. What's your opinion on heaven and hell? Both are here. Both are here. And it's all, they both are here, and most of it is in our mind, right here. How we live, how we think, can turn something into heaven. Or make it look like a hell. It's a perception of our life and situations. And of course, in deeper meaning, is how we make and design, architect our lives, the decisions that we make that could result in bad things or good things. Again, that's another way to create heaven on earth, heaven or hell on earth, right here. But if you're really meaning if there is such a place as heaven after we die, or hell. No, I don't think there is such a thing. No heaven, no hell. But I do believe there is our energy still going to be out there. We may not have the form that we have as we have right now, necessary for this experience of life to have physical form so we can experience what physical things are here to learn and experience. But our consciousness, the energy that flows through us even now, that is part of the universe that we are, and the energy of the universe, and we are part of it, made out of that energy. And still that energy does flow through us and is boosted outwardly. We act as a capacitor. The energy flow from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe passes through us, and we boost it over. And depending what we turn that energy into, negative or positive, helps the world right here to be more of a hellish or more of a heavenly. Depends on how we extend this energy to each other and to the world in general. Do we help things develop and grow, or do we choose our energy to be negative to others and hinder their experience of life and their path of growth and development? So this energy and the experiences that we gain in life, in our consciousness, naturally, in my opinion, it joins the collective consciousness of the universe once we die. And through our experiences individually, which eventually will be released and is at the moment also available in the collective consciousness of the universe, will return and will help the universe as a whole to become a more intelligent organism, more intelligent system. In fact, I think the universe is growing through us. We are the universe. We are part of this whole universe. As its pieces, we are helping it to shape itself the way it does. Our behavior, our actions, our energy extended outwardly. It all affects, enlightens, or sheds over the intelligence of the universe. We're all adding to it. And through our experiences, the universe becomes more alert, more knowledgeable. Wiser, and able to create perhaps a better or worse universe. And that's basically what I can say about that. A little bit too heavy maybe, but hey, you asked the questions. I'm not responsible for the weight of it. Kalani, good to see you. Study with me says, no, I mean, I joined your session after a long time. Yes, I know. Study with me says, thank you so much, as I love to read about my psyche. Good. That is the book for you. Tiffany J says, hi Mehran, 43 Ohio. Oh, Ohio always reminds me of the Ohio Players. What a band it was. That was in my time, I think in the 70s. Ohio Players. So many discos we went with those music and bands in there. I don't know if the discos are still the same as how exciting it was then. The music was amazing. And we were there just to dance. People were not drinking that much. I mean, students. Weekends, everybody gathers up, friends, and go to a disco. That was a big thing. Ohio Players was one of the major bands then. Anyhow, and Tiffany says, enjoying the lazy Sunday. Yes, 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 of course. Wonderful, wonderful. Good to be here. Pablo Smith says, hello Mehran. My ex broke up with me because I spent too much time with my family and not with her. Well, then don't spend time with her. She said she's missing out on having a boyfriend. Yeah, she's right. Is this something I should fix? Yes. God damn it. Spending too much time with the family, neither good for you, no good for your relationship. You gotta balance everything. Nobody says ignore or neglect your family. Family is very important. But either include her at some events, not that every time you're with her you bring her to the family. That's not outing. That's fucking her to be in, again, under the roof of another adult. She's just coming out of her own family's rules and feeling like a child, and now having to be at the boyfriend's house and be a child there because still not recognized. Look, the girl wants to have a boyfriend for many reasons. One reason is to feel grown up, to feel like we are a couple. We're doing things. We make our own decisions. Whether we have money or not, we go places, we do things that we are making a decision for ourselves. You taking her and bringing her to the family and thinking that, okay, my girlfriend is here and my mom is here, my dad, okay. Too much of that shit is neither good for you nor shows you have any backbones, or you're a man for her, or you have a relationship, or you have a girlfriend. It just means, you know what I'm saying. That's why you're asking, because you know there's something wrong there. Meaning it's not the right venue to constantly bring your girlfriend and make her homie. Don't. Go out with her. Go to a movie. Go to bowling. Go to tennis. Go to jogging, walking, doing something. Play soccer. Together. You know? And then sometimes you go to her house if she invites you, or she comes to your house with your family. Sometimes. Not too often. Because of many reasons. One reason is that your mother and father turn her into their daughter. She fucking loses her own self-feeling of being a woman. Understand that. How would you like to go to her home and her dad constantly tell you do this, or mommy says, when you know, you gotta do this and do that? Fuck. Move out, right? So I hope I paint the picture for you. So yes, you gotta fucking fix that. Every one of them gonna break up with you if you keep doing that. Now, if you tell her, okay, listen, you know, I won't do that anymore. Or just, you know, once every month or every 2 weeks or whatever the amount that you want to spend with my family. And don't find it insulting or anything. Just normal. Nobody wants to be dominated. Nobody wants to be dictated to. Nobody wants to be under anybody else's decisions, no matter what age you are. From kid size to, they may comply when they're kids because parents have an authority and they love the kids and they make him or her understand that we are trying to protect you and teach you the right stuff, and he or she, the kid, will go for it, and rightfully so. Well, at a certain age, then those things don't wash anymore, and it's not healthy. All right, let's go on. Matrix Band 12. There you go. That's it. That's all you have to say. All right. I think that means you probably clicked on the like and you said, there you go. Guys, don't forget to click on the like. It helps us with the algorithm. Riz says, Mehran, do you have any criteria that you think? Let me fix my chair here. I'm kind of sitting crooked. That's better. Okay. Now, Mehran, do you have any criteria, Reese says, that you think make a good psychotherapist for someone who has never been in therapy before, and what to look for to find a good one? No, I don't have any. I'm not a psychotherapist or psychologist, therefore I don't want to share my, I don't know, opinion on this. I don't have an opinion. Depends what it is you're looking for. Perhaps the stuff that we have on the channel can help you to figure out what angles you're looking to improve yourself, and perhaps on that basis you can choose your psychologists or psychotherapists on that. Ash, hello. Which I'm not sure what it stands for, says to the RAF. Oh, I see. Oh, she's talking to Raf. Ross says, Mehran, what age is best to settle down? I'm 30 and still have another year left in graduate school and would like to find someone to settle down. Why? Why do you want to settle down? I don't know. 35? From now till 35, you have time to look for somebody. Don't put pressure on it, or time. Whenever it happens. You know, it's not like, okay, I want to go to the grocery store, you know, buy a relationship. Can't do that. Order it online. No. It happens, and you will feel, okay, that's the right, you know, okay, I can settle down with this. But don't rush it. Because if you don't do your research and don't spend enough time with each other, you end up making a mistake in your choice. You know? Age 30 is the age that you can begin to look. Finish your university and get a job, and all through that you have your eyes open. You'll see what attracts you and seems right. Henry Adams says, hi Mehran, I was going to marry this girl. She was that perfect, but I developed stage fear and backed out, and she found another guy, and now I'm feeling so much regret. No, don't. At the time you made the mistake, at the time you made the decision, you felt that given the circumstances and the knowledge and information and experience that you had, it was the right decision, and stick to it. You can't turn your decisions of most kind, you know, not like detrimental kinds of, you know, health situation stuff. But most regular day-to-day decisions, you can't look back and then think, oh, I should have done this. Well, you should have done that. Why? Then you were not what you are now. You didn't know what you know now. Knowledge was limited, and all you knew was what you knew, and with what you knew, you made the best decision that you could make, and that's it. That's all it. That's it. You can't, you know, scold yourself for that. Don't look back. You did the right thing. That's how you felt. Believe me, if it really was that perfect, you wouldn't have backed out. You can be sure of that. The fact that you did, that was telling you there was something there that wasn't, you weren't buying it. So, good job. Don't worry about it. Go on. You just feel like somebody else now, you know, she chose, you feel like left out. It's like something in the store, you look at it, you see, it's not the exact thing for me. You're thinking about, not really, I don't want it. But then somebody else comes and picks it up because that's right for them. You say, oh, now I want it. Yeah, all because somebody else got it. And not because that thing suddenly became the right size. Or, right color or whatever, design. So don't worry about it. You did fine. You did fine. Kalani says, love your answer, Lo. Okay, good. All right. Antron Petty says, greetings, sir. Greeting to you, Antron. Thank you in advance. Reasons for my wife wanting divorce. I agree to be valid. Multiple chances given to me to correct even after divorce. How do I overcome my selfishness? Understand that selfishness is not a virtue, is not a good thing, is not what this whole nature is built on. Look at everything that is helping everything else to grow. From the worms in the earth, they do things, prepare the grounds, do something, and the nutrients that the earth gives to the seed is, if it was selfish, the seed could not have gotten nutrients from earth. The seed comes up and grows, gives vegetables and fruits, so animals and human beings and birds and things can eat and grow. If it was selfish, it wouldn't have allowed anybody. It would probably had it all poisonous or something just to keep it to itself. The birds and so on eat that, and they do stuff. They fly in the air. Even the air is not selfish and is a characteristic that allows things to float on it and fly, to go from place to place and find food and survive. And then on and on and on, the trees and the effects of them, the oceans, the movements, and the oceans move, and electricity could be made from the movement of the waves and all that. So if you look at everything, food chain and nutrients and vegetables and things, everything else is surviving because they're not selfish. They're helping other things survive, and other things survive because they let other things enjoy their whatever it is, that effects that they introduce to the nature. So if you look at it as a big chain that is all connected, none of them works on the basis of selfishness. It's all about helping, giving, providing, consciously or unconscious, meant it or not. That's the way of the nature, the way of the river. Every movement is trying to help something or trying to create something. Now, it depends if we want to be in front of that flow. If it's too much of a strong flow of a river, I don't want to be in front of it. It takes me. That's not a good thing. But if I'm not there, put myself somewhere else, that flow could actually go and, I don't know, clean up the dirt and stuff and, wash away whatever it is that it's trying to do, or, irrigate fields and make the fields give good crops and stuff. So if you look at it, go into it yourself, and you'll see selfishness really is sign of weakness, sign of fear. A little bit of selfishness is natural. Everything is selfishness. The fact that I, want to eat is selfishness, is okay. That sort of things. But denying and trying to scrape away from other people all the time and in unfair ways without negotiating a fair value for it, it's not a civilized way of helping things to grow and develop, including yourself to grow and develop. So if you focus on it, you'll see that it's not a trait you want to have. It's not like how to overcome it. It's not like a disease. It's a mentality. If you understand it, you'll say, oh, fuck, it's not strong. It's not good. Love is strong. Kindness is strong. Fear and anger is a reaction, and trying to use people and make fun of people, you know, when it's not called for, then you will see, you know, like bullying people, that's weakness. And too much of selfishness is kind of a bullying people. And a bully is the weakest fucking creature on earth. That some people make mistake and think that actually the bully is strong. No, bully is fearful, is incapable of doing anything, is trying to make himself look big and strong by actually trying to put down somebody else, because he has no capability or talent to on his own make himself look big or develop or create something out of himself. So he goes try to chisel other people to look small so he would in turn look big. So that's out of fear, out of weakness. A selfishness, a strong amount of it, is the same as being a weak person, not able to help things develop and grow. That's a strength. Helping people is strength. Planting crops and planting trees and helping things to grow, that's a strength. But taking them all and not leaving for anybody else, just to look at the picture, is so fucking weak. All right, I think you got the message. Hamza says, hello, hello. Hamza says, I'm happy that I get a chance to watch this live. Oh, good. But you know what? You came to the end of it, because now we answered all the questions. And I want to thank you guys for giving me the time and opportunity to share these with you. Please do click on the like if you haven't yet, so it will help us. Please share the videos that you like on your social media. Help us to grow. Recommend to your friends. Send the links to your friends. Help us to grow and talk about it. And if you got contacts, any kind of a media that want to do any kind of a, I don't know, interview or report on what this channel does and all, that will be welcomed. So all the best to you, and thank you again. I look forward to talk to you again, hopefully within the week or next week, weekend, or during the week, depending on my time. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.